right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakak Wadash. I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders, great millstone, who teach very well where I learned this truth from, and salutation out there to the hopeful elect who continue to push this word and our truth, faith, and sincerity. And also shalom to all the men, women, and children who sincerely believe upon the words of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. And today, man, just basically getting on this picture. You know, people say a picture is worth 1,000 words. And ultimately, a lot of these people upon the planet Earth have been brainwashed by the media. If you haven't been brainwashed by the media, ultimately you have been brainwashed with that American dream. You know, ultimately we have been living an unfair life, but people have just now noticing things are unfair. The rich is still getting richer. Ultimately, they just found out different poisons in their food. And there was a recent study of the high C, which is a popular drink amongst kids, high C and fruit punch. They say it's traces of damn laundry detergent in there, man, fabric softener. You know, it just shows you that here in these latter days, Esau have dealt a number upon these people, man. Let's go ahead and start off right here. This is the book of 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 4. It's like 2 Corinthians 4. And I'm going to jump down to verse 3. It says, but if our gospel be hid. Now, a part of our gospel is the good news. You know, and that good news is including, you know, the end of the empire, the end of chemtrails being spread off through the air, you know, the end of wickedness continuing to flourish throughout the whole planet Earth, the end of Esau's ruling, man. That's a part of that good news. And also putting the same God that has been punishing not only you, but your grandma and your family, putting all these people into slavery. That's that good news that these Christians and the rest of these Americans can't wrap their mind around. You know, read this again. It says, but if our gospel, so our good news, because even then the good news too is also telling the future of the evils that's coming ahead. And if you hearken unto the gospel, then you can ultimately be spared from the evils that's coming ahead. It's continuing on. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, and whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not. Yes, we go into the word lost. The word lost goes back into must be put to death. But even ultimately, these people are lost. They don't have no idea what's going on. No, it's talks of, yeah, we need somebody else. They get up there for 4 to 8 years. No. These niggas are so stupid. You still are not waking up until vote somebody else for the next 4 years. Is not going to work. We're going to have Fox News to cover it this time. That's not going to work, man. The only solution is to destroy this place and let everything be restarted in righteousness. Let's go ahead and continue on. It says, in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not. And the reason why you don't believe in this good news, because it's ultimately telling the end into your American dream. Wife, kids, 2.5 kids, a dog, a white picket fence. You go to work every day, and once you turn, 65, then you get to collect your 401k. That's not life, man. Let's go ahead and continue on. It says, least the light of the glorious gospel, who is the image of the Most High, who is the image of the Most High, a reflection. In America is don't reflect the ways of the Lord. Continuing on, it says, should shine unto them. For we preach not ourselves, but a Mashiach, Yahweh Shah the Lord, and ourselves, your servants, for Yahweh Shah's sake. So we're not pushing things of our own accord. We're not coming, thus saith, me, thus saith the brother Ryan. No, we coming, thus saith Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. That's why we back everything up with scriptures. But again, we shine the light upon you people, but ultimately you guys are in gross darkness. Let's get this in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60. Isaiah 60 and verse 1, arise, shine, for thy light is come. And because again, we was once in the dark. We once worshiped Jesus Christ, man. We were celebrating Christmas. And we thought about the American dream. And once upon a time, we was just like John. We all had marveled at the Lord until what? The Lord shined his light upon us. And now we can read the whole room. You know? And it's just like a woman, she want to have sex with you. She want to turn it. Why you want to turn the lights off, man? You know, what are you hiding? You know, and a lot of things that America was hiding have been exposed here in these latter days, man. Read this again. It says, arise, shine, for thy light is come. That light is the representation of this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It says, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. Yes. From people not knowing the Israelites, you got Chinese people and still a Moabites. You know what I'm saying? And then ultimately you have the devil running throughout the whole planet Earth. Side by side with you. You actually work for him. And that chest, that Irish cat smile that you push forth, it can fool all these people that's in gross darkness, but it's not fooling us, man. It says, and again, because you say, why you hate the white man? Look at his history, man. You know, you ain't even got to go back 200 years, man. You ain't even got to go back to slavery. Just look at the atrocities of the civil rights movement, of the Jim Crow laws, man. Down here in Birmingham, Alabama, even your parents, to be honest, everybody fully and up got a story, man. You know, about the bad things that was going on. You know, continuing on though. It says, in gross darkness the people, but the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And a part of their glory being seen upon us is us having the truth. A part of the Ezekiel, the 33rd chapter. You know? Because it ain't like we just we pushing forth knowledge upon these people and they ignoring it. But you're going to realize it's the light when all hell breaks loose. Once that microchip get pushed out, once the famine start kicking in. And that's going to be a fulfillment of what? In the day of thy power, thy people shall be willing, man. Because some people is going to have to, they're waking up just a little bit. People know America full of shit. People are just waking up just a little bit, but it's going to have to be a drastic turn of events for a lot of people to really commit unto this doctrine, man. You know, continuing on, verse 3, it says, and the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and the kings to the brightness of thy rising. In the spirit, too, a part of the Gentiles coming to our light is the ones that was in a Gentile state of mind. You know? The ones who didn't know that there was Israelite, the ones who didn't know that their bloodline goes back into Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Once they realize who they are, and they realize we have the truth, then ultimately they will be in line. Let's get another one just to bad that up. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 2. It says, the people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. Yes, the ones that was in a Gentile state of mind, like us. We was once brainwashed into what? The Lord opened up our mind. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get this. This the book of, because the Lord have washed our brain in righteousness. Esau washed your brain with fluoride and chlorophyll. Not chlorophyll, fluoride and Clorox. Let's go ahead and get this real quick. This is the book of Psalms 119 and verse 9. It says, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to thy word. So us ultimately hearkening to the doctrine of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, this is how we cleanse ourselves up, man. Ultimately, this is how we wipe away all that old doctrine and the darkness that was once upon us from this American lifestyle. Because we actually live in a cesspool, Not only do we have trash on the streets, but people mindsets, over emotional beings and all these different things. Lord got to do away with this society and just restart it with righteousness. But let's go back. Isaiah 9 and verse 2, it says, the people walked in darkness have seen a great light, and they that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, which is America, upon them the light has shined. So upon these people that's standing over here in the Western Hemisphere, the light of the scriptures have shined unto them. This word, this understanding, man. And again, with us waking up into who the devil is, everything's is starting to work. Even like the scripture says, then this gospel shall be preached throughout the whole planet Earth, and then the end shall come. And this gospel, which is not talking about Christianity, it's not talking about Islam, it's talking about this doctrine of Yahweh Shah that we're speaking precept upon precept, line upon line. As soon as this word start getting out, and that light started to shine throughout the whole planet Earth, and people started to recognize who the true kings are, guess what? Prophecy started to move. Prophecies is live in action, man. Things is popping over there in the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, these people are talking about a cryptocurrency and a digital society. IoT, the Internet of Things, the micro C-hip is on his way out. Hey, this is the doctrine of Yahweh Shai and the light that's shining forth. But again, these brainwashed people and the people who are blinded spiritually will not be able to see what's going on. That's why we got to say the water Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai for shining this truth upon us. So yeah, I pray this video was edifying. I want to give our praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakakwadash. I want to give them honor to my apostle, elders, great millstone, and Shalom.